All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, it's a big fat I told you so. I told you all that this was going to happen, and it is reflecting itself and coming out, and that is Errol Spence Jr.'s negotiations with Terence Crawford in the first fight are having ramifications on the boxing world, and in this case, preventing a fight that a whole lot of people want to see. So you can get ready for a whole lot of people to be getting called ducks, because once you open Pandora's box, it's open and it ain't going to be closed anytime soon. This is about the demands of Frank Martin, the alleged demands that Frank Martin has to fight Shakur Stevenson, and also Shakur Stevenson's demands to fight Devin Haney. But let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon, and in this video, we're going to be in the 135-pound division, where there's a lot of talk going on in boxing about why Frank Martin is ducking Shakur Stevenson for a championship shot at the WBC, the vacant WBC belt. And this is going to be a response to questions that were asked of me, and also a big fat case of I told you so, and do not care if people believe that this is the case or not. I'm telling you that this is going to be the case going forward in a lot of these negotiations. We entered into a big stage in boxing. We were making big fights, and big fights were going to get done, but the diva mentality of boxers, certain boxers, are going to stunt the growth of those fights. And I will explain exactly how it has been worsened by what took place between Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford, and I truly believe has some effect on what's going on with this Shakur Stevenson and Frank Martin fight. But before I get into the details, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you are a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you so much for your continued support. It really does mean a lot to the channel. So thank you, Matty. Yo, man, I keep seeing you in there. Thank you so much. For some reason, I can't get to your comments through my phone, so I need to go to my computer. But man, just know, thank you very much for your support on the super chats and everybody else that supports. But let's get into this, okay? So we're in a situation where this is the word about what's going on. Shakur Stevenson can't seem to get a fight because he is he's the top ranked guy in the WBC that is available for a fight to fight for Devin Haney's vacant WBC title. He was not able to get a fight with Devin Haney because Devin Haney made him an offer that he did not want to accept. He could not get a fight with Vasily Lomachenko because Vasily Lomachenko, for some reason, even though he had petitioned to be the #1 in the WBC and remain the #1 in the WBC, is not available for a fight, even though he would have been available for a fight with Devin Haney, according to him. And so now he cannot get a fight with Frank Martin because they had said, this being ESPN and different journalists, that they had reached an agreement, they being Frank Martin and Shakur Stevenson's team had reached an agreement. They had canceled the purse bid, and when Top Rank sent the contract over to Frank Martin, his team, they said, no, we're not interested in the fight. So people are now saying, oh, this is a duck. Now, is it a duck? Is it not? I'm gonna let you categorize that as you want. I understand fully well why people would say that's a duck. I, in my case, have in my experience on YouTube talking boxing. I've called a similar circumstance a duck where somebody refused to take a fight and went off and fought somebody else when they got fair offers, what it seemed to me to be fair offers for a fight. But who was that? That was Errol, Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford. Now, fast forward less than a year later, we're having this with two people associated with the two people in that negotiation. And one guy saying, hey man, this money that you're offering me, which could be reasonably expected to be a career high payday for him, is not enough. And that is Frank Martin telling Errol Spence Jr.'s fighter, telling that to Terence Crawford's protege, Shakur Stevenson. And Shakur Stevenson saying, hey man, this is the biggest payday of your career, way 3 times higher than any payday you would have ever had, that you've had to date. And presumably, according to rumors that are out there, Frank Martin's team saying, I don't care, we want 50-50. Because at 50-50, if we're not going to go to purse bid, if we go to purse bid, it's going to be the 60-40 that the mandatory purse split for people in our position are. Not going to go below that, right? Now, why do I say that this is a reflection of what's going on, what goes on, what happened with Terence Crawford and Errol Spence? Because you have another scenario here like that one, where one guy is clearly the more well-known fighter, and that is Errol Spence in that particular fight, the guy that's selling the tickets, where somebody who's getting a fair offer just says no, and if you don't want to give me what I want, I'm just not going to fight you. With absolutely positively no regard for whether or not people call him a duck or don't call him a duck. And if you don't, and more than willing to wait around to get exactly what it is he wants, and then to barter and not barter and to negotiate for any and every little thing that he thinks he can get for the fight. That is a very hardball negotiation style that worked for Terence Crawford. Do not be surprised if people start doing that when they feel like somebody else needs them. Because in this scenario, Shakur Stevenson does need Frank Martin. Because fighting anybody other than a Frank Martin, because Frank Martin is one of the better known lightweights at this point in time, is a very, very solid fighter who's proven himself to be a top 5 in the lightweight division. Of all the people, and why does Shakur Stevenson need Frank Martin? Because everybody else told him no. Devin Haney told him no, so that option was not there for him. Isaac Cruz presumably told him no, so that option is not there for him. Lomachenko told him no, that option is not there for him. What other option is there? Edwin De Los Santos? Guys like that for you to fight? Well, hey man, good luck. Go fight that guy, get your WBC belt, and guess where Frank Martin will still be? Frank Martin will still be ranked in the top of the WBC belt, the WBC rankings. And if he doesn't want to stay in the WBC rankings, he'll be in position to get a bigger money fight with Gervonta Davis if he tries to force his hand at 135 pounds. I mean, for the WBA title. And my understanding is, at least from what I understand, that when Devin vacates that WBA Super, Gervonta may actually just stay as the WBA world champion and still have mandatories. It's very doubtful that they're going to get rid of him actually having mandatories. So there are other things that Frank Martin can go do, like go get a paycheck in another fight, in a fight that he knows that he can win, where he'll get the lion's share of the money, and then he'll come back and look again at whether or not he wants to fight Shakur Stevenson, just like Terence Crawford did to Errol Spence Jr. Is it good for boxing? No, it is not, because we want to see the fight. But again, you also have other people up there, like the heavyweight division, where you have Tyson Fury, who's refusing to fight boxers at all because he's so focused on getting every penny that he can out of any fight that he has, and the WBC's not doing anything about it. So I told people this before, you can expect this to become the case. People who are the quote unquote B sides to these negotiations are going to come to a realization after Terence Crawford's situation that B side and A side is a relative term. It really depends on what the other guy can do without you. And Frank Martin followed in the footsteps of Terence Crawford and is saying, hey, man, pay me the money. Now, more than likely, Bob Arum's not going to give into it, and Bob Arum is just going to let it go away, and they won't have the fight. But that hurts Shakur Stevenson. However, I just don't believe Bob Arum is really that interested in getting Shakur Stevenson big fights anyway. And just to offer us, if this is true, $6 million for Shakur Stevenson, $1 million for Terence for Frank Martin, when you can go to purse bid, and if that fight is worth that much money to Bob Arum, if the fight is worth $7 million to Bob Arum, then hey man, you're gonna have to pay at the very least what this guy would have got in a purse bid as a percentage of the purse that you're paying. So I think there's a lot of stuff here. However, the whole I'm gonna pay hardball and not fight unless I get every dime type of stuff. Just get ready for that to happen a lot more. And this time, I suspect that it's Errol Spence doing it the other way. Like, nah, Frank, man, we're not doing this. $1 million when he's getting 7? No. Give us at least this amount of money. And why would he do that? Because Errol's got to get paid, Al Heyman's got to get paid, and they got to buck Showtime and go somewhere else to a network that has been providing for Frank Martin's entire career. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.